Mason. How is everybody? Well, a new year has arrived, and we have a new president coming up. No matter what the Republicans say, we don't need their permission. And a new Congress today will be sworn in. And so many of the Republican members of Congress, House and Senate, are still trying to block the formality of the Electoral College vote of the states, the democratically elected will of the people that certifies that Joe Biden is and will be elected president of the United States. That's the tendency among Republicans anymore. They're like, and conservatives, they're like the spoiled kids of American politics. We can't do anything without their permission. Everything has to go by them. And every political figure that's not one of them is some sort of interloper, some pretender to the throne, just shouldn't be there no matter what the rest of the public says. And today also, during the count of the Electoral College votes, where the Vice President, Mike Pence, has a task of certifying what the Electoral College votes say. The right-wing militias, call them terrorists, and goons such as the Proud Boys are going to be demonstrating and getting ready to commit all kinds of acts of violence. And we're not going to put up with it. We're not going to put up with it. We're going to stand up to these guys. We're going to stand up to these bastards. We're going to be on the streets, and we will defend ourselves. Take that to the bank, pussy bitches. And a couple things we got to do during this these next 4 years. One is hold Biden accountable for what he says he's going to do while in office. Right now, dealing with the coronavirus. He urges everybody in his first 100 days to wear a mask. I've been doing that since the get-go of this. Wear a mask, and he's going to push utilize the Defense Production Act to quicken manufacture of PPEs and vaccines. Good. Of course, it'd be great if we can get that done now, since our so-called alleged president is jerking too busy having the sulks to do any damn thing. But we gotta hang in there. For the time being, we gotta do the little protocols: put on the mask, do the social distancing, wash the hands, and I guess give a shout out to the Pennsylvania independent distillers, the distillers of craft whiskeys, who have retooled themselves to, along with their fine whiskeys, manufacture hand sanitizers. God bless you guys. And give a shout out to the small businesses that have suffered throughout the pandemic. They're the real backbone of the economy. Let's give our support to them. Try to avoid as much as possible the big chain conglomerates, billion-dollar conglomerate stores. Avoid them as much as possible, and give as much support to your local small neighborhood stores and vendors, like my local hardware store, my local corner grocery store, and since I am a strong union man, support those. If you gotta go to a conglomerate, try to make it a union store, like Acme and ShopRite, those stores. And let us not be too impressed with the highs and lows of the stock market. The stock market is not the economy. Oh, sure, uh, some already billionaire people are got their like making even more billions from the stock market, even more through the tax breaks in the 2017 tax bill that Mitch McConnell and the boys came up with. But that's not the economy. Let us abandon the myth of trickle-down economics. Any money that goes to the richest 0.1% of the economy ain't coming down to the rest of us. Economic development is from the bottom up, starting with workers getting some decent pay so they can buy from the neighborhood grocery stores like I told you about, and the small stores and vendors like I mentioned, employing people and plowing their money back into the community, and not like the big billion-dollar conglomerates shipping them down to salting them away in bank accounts in Panama. I mean, I've read the reports about the Panama Papers, and that's what they do with their money. They don't reinvest it, the billions of dollars. They sock it away in unmarked, unnamed bank accounts in Panama, Ireland, Liechtenstein, others. That's what we gotta fight. And we got to deal with. That's another thing we got to deal with. The Republican Party has, with some honorable exceptions, have been totally taken over by the Trumpist faction, and there are some Democrats also that have served the corporate interests. We must hold our government accountable to the working people and low-income people of this country. That is the mission, those two prongs. Getting back to Biden, I've always been influenced by the old story about Franklin Roosevelt. A group of citizens visited FDR in his office and say, "Mr. President, this is what we feel," and they make their case to him. And old FDR says, "All right, you've convinced me. Now get out there and force me to do it." That's our approach to Biden. That's our approach to any and every one of those elected officials who are for us. Let them know that there is a constituency, that the people do want these things, like a national health care system and a national health care system, because health isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And also alleviating student debt. Just wipe it out. Wipe it out. That should plow more money into the economy and funnel right back up. That's how it works. And cancel all student debt. And a $15 an hour federal minimum wage. That could put more money in workers' pockets and more money to spend on their local vendors. And also infrastructure. Deal with the infrastructure of this country. I mean, we're so behind the rest of the world. We always want our country to be at the top tier, at the top of the top tier, but we're dragging at the bottom when it comes to the maintenance of our bridges, our roadways, our highways, our railroads, electric power plants. We are so way behind. That's the agenda we need to push. And if the Republicans and their goons try to bully us, we'll stand up to them and knock them on their asses. Politically and otherwise, if need be. Okay, that's the task. That's our mission, should we choose to accept it. I know we're up to it. We can do it. Thank you. Bye.